Hello, hello. Familiar faces, I like it. Let's see. Um,
You want to make an opening statement
sure.
about this weekend's meet
Okay,
and take questions?
sure. So we're kicking off. This is year 2 for me. Excited, have sort of our recruiting class in, which is nice to kind of start them from young, as you'll say, get them in our system. So year 2 as director, staff is in place. We got a recruiting class in. Our men, I would say, we've went from probably 17 to 18 active uh, student athletes to about 37, 38. So we really grew our men's roster, and so excited to see a lot of them compete for the first time this weekend. So we kick off the season Saturday at home. Have a few Division I, a few Division II schools that'll be in town. Some of the Arkansas schools, Pine Bluff, Little Rock, some local schools, SLU will be here, and so it'll be a good just introduction for us to see how fall training's been going, see what we need to work on, see kind of how they manage themselves in the collegiate environment. It'll give us a chance to get back to work over the winter break, because we have a meet, then we send them home for about 4 weeks, which is nerve-wracking for any coach. And then when we come back in January, we get right back on the road. So this is a good tester for us to kind of just see how our fall has been going.
I'm interested kind of
Sure.
in your, see one of your sprinters, the grad transfer, Gilbert.
Yes,
How did you get, he's from a Division II school.
he is.
And how did you get in touch with him?
Division II, his school, they've actually been national champions, and
Yeah,
so he's been in a program that's been at the top at the Division II level, and he really wanted to be able to compete at the Division I level. He wanted an opportunity, and I think that we offer the greatest opportunity for focus on him. He could go on somewhere else and maybe try to be a factor, number 4 or 5 on the depth chart in his event for a year, but we kind of offered him the chance to come in here and really, as I mentioned, we had really no short sprinters for our men last year. Our fastest was our decathlete and our high jumper, so that'll let you know we had some work to do. So it was an opportunity for him to come in and kind of be top dog on a program, get some attention, get some focus, and then be able to compete. I tell them all we're Division I, so we go to the same national meet as every Power 5, and so you get a chance to get there.
Yes, you're right. The top Division II
Mhm.
schools, their athletes could probably play at Division I
Mhm.
in a lot of places.
Yes. Oh, yes.
And he's run about a 10.52.
Mhm.
You think you can really improve with one more? If you have a 5th year,
Mhm.
can you really improve? I guess you could.
You could when you become the focus, and I think it's the competition. I will say he's looking forward to being able to, week in and week out compete at the Division I level. So he's seeing some of the top competitors, and that's something that we offered him. We're gonna go to the best meets. We're gonna give you opportunity to advance, and so it's really just the opportunity to compete at that level, so that the times will drop.
How well-rounded you feel like your roster is? You talked, SIU's known for the throwers,
Mhm.
and then you have a history I think, with the jumps.
I
and
am,
the
yes.
hurdlers and all that.
So I'm a multi-coach is what I say. I mean, that's what I spent, 10 years at Ohio State as the multi-coach. And what that allowed for me is the heptathlon and the decathlon, it's a little bit of everything. And I enjoyed that. And so I try and make sure that as we recruit, all of my coaches, they have their scholarship allotment. I try and spread it out, so I try not to be, heavy in just one area. The conference has actually moved to where you can only do 5 per event as it is at the conference meet. So, not that it doesn't make sense, but in the past you could have 20 throwers, enter them all and see what happens. Now you have 5. So let's get 5 or 6 shot putters and just work on them, and then get 5 or 6 high jumpers and 5 or 6 distance runners. So we've really kept a balanced program in the recruiting process. I'm committed to that. I like talent, and I tell all the coaches, if there's somebody that's national class, I don't care what event, but at the same time we try and make sure that we cover our bases.
speaking of multi-event people, I noticed you have another transfer from McGee State.
Yes.
And actually he's from the Netherlands.
Yes.
This is a big guy.
I-
You think he has a lot of potential, obviously?
You probably saw him walk by just a few minutes ago and thought he was on the basketball team. So I told Coach Mullen stay away from him. He's about 6'7". A lot of potential in that he's decent at a lot of things. Not a whole lot of training in any of them, and so he's gonna be developmental in the multi. I will say that, but that's kind of what a decathlete is. You got to learn all of the events, but he has the frame, he has the athleticism, and really he has not only the ability, but the tenacity. Coach, what do I got to do? Where I got to be? What do you want me to do? And so he's actually lifting with the throwers and running with the sprinters, and so he really inserts himself, and he'll be a factor. Indoor is going to be rough, I think, because it's just coming up so quick for him. But by outdoor, we expect him to be a major factor.
Is he the tallest athlete you've ever recruited?
No. So we've had here he is. I will say that. Although we have a thrower, we got to line him up back to back again. He's probably about 6'7.5". So. And a little heavier too. So that's probably the struggle with him. He looks much more like a basketball player, but we've had some guys that are probably a little bit, might have to tell Coach Hill to stay away from. But no, he's up there, but we've had some big ones come through.
So what do you think will be your best events this year?
On the men's side, to be honest, I have no clue, and I kind of like that. I'm excited to just see, we have some returners in the throws, Hurley, Kessler, so we expect them they're conference champions. We expect them to continue in that role. We've added a transfer in the men's shot put who has already come right in and is kind of on par with them. So that group, we expect to kind of continue to see big things from them. But as I mentioned, we've added hurdlers, we've added sprinters, we've added jumpers, we've added distance runners. So really this weekend gives us a chance to see where they're at and what they're capable of. Our women, I think, we're not as young or not as new as the men, so we have some returners in the sprints areas. We lost Bree Branch, which is huge, but we still have Ty indoor, Genesis indoor and outdoor, Savannah Long, Maddie Meyer. So we have pretty much some of our top scorers returning, and so that sprint multi-group will continue to expect a lot of them at the conference level, as well as our obviously our throws. They're always strong. We're gonna sit. The plan right now is to sit Shanice O'Neal and redshirt her for Olympic year. She's gonna train towards Olympic year. So there's some points there that we'll have some newbies that got to step up and fill in for her, but we've added to depth in that area as well. So we're pretty well rounded with the women.
When asked what's your best event, what's it like in reevaluating now for your first event? So what are the expectations kind of going in?
My coaches keep asking me that. The athletes keep asking me that, and I kind of take the approach. I tell them, I said, I'm gonna sit back and watch, and it's probably gonna be hard to sit back and just see where we're at, because we just have chemistry-wise, and then, like I said, having a lot of newcomers. I don't know what they don't know. I know what I've been telling them. I know what I'm asking them to do, but really just seeing how they execute some things from. I've already had one tell me they left their shoes back at home. So, there's just little things that we're still trying to instill and see, what each of them needs. That's the good and the bad of individual sport. Each one of them, same event, two different athletes could need totally two different, plans. And so we have to kind of really sit and watch, I think, and figure out what they need, and then over the break really instill in them some things that they got to work on. The ownership becomes on them after this first meet, which I'm looking forward to. Been talking about it. Now you have the result. Now you have to get to work and make sure you come back ready to execute, X, Y, Z.
On paper, what's the excitement?
I think right now the men's sprint, we've pretty much, everybody over there is new, and they've been chattering from day one on who's the fastest. I'm faster than you, I'm faster. and that's a good excitement. They're practicing well, they're training well, and so they have some internal something internal to prove. So I'm kind of curious to see how that shakes out. And I like when they're excited to see who's the best, where they are, how can we get better. So I'm really just anxious to kind of see all the talk, you know, when they all line up, who's gonna want it, who's gonna I don't say fight for it, but who really has everything they've been saying, who will put it into action. So I'm excited for kind of that event group because I have no basis on, and I know what they've come in, they've transferred in, they're freshmen. I know kind of what their stats were last year, but it'd be exciting to see, you know, a semester in the system where they are now.
How have things changed for you from year one to year two?
Oh boy. I mean, I think this time I was still hiring coaches, still learning names. I mean, it really was a whirlwind last year to where all the ideas you wanted to put in place, I'm still trying to figure out, you know, where they keep the pens. So I think right now it's been exciting that, you know, you have a year of data to look at, had a summer of planning, you have a recruiting class, and so now I'm really just, I'm much more settled in what we've put in place. Now it's just anxiety about, let's see if it's working. Let's see if it's working.
Is recruiting a group effort, or, I mean, do you go out too,
Mhm.
besides the
Mhm.
assistants? And who determines whether that's the athlete that you sign?
Ultimately, it falls on me. And so, you know, but it is a group effort, as I tell them, you know, every event area has an event coach, and so the throws coach is going to go and try and find throwers, but at the same time, he may have a relationship with, you know, a coach that has a really good jumper and can say, hey, coach, I know I'm the throws coach, but here's a jumper. What do you think? And so we sit in a room and we hash out what we need as a program. And my coaches, they do a great job of knowing it's still a team effort. You know, everyone has their individual events that they want to see do well, but we're trying to win a championship, and we need everybody to do it. So they do a good job of, you know, if I need to go see a thrower, then I'll go see a thrower because, you know, that's what we need to do. I have my sprint coach going to see a distance runner because he's from the same area, and, you know, it's a little more comfortable. So we definitely share the responsibility in recruiting.
Will the areas that you recruit now be the same in 5 years? Depending, I notice a lot of Pennsylvania, Ohio, Maryland, eastern type of the country. Will you be more in St. Louis and stuff like that?
Yes, that's the plan, and that was the plan kind of to your question last year. You know, you want to get in and try and recruit the area, recruit the state, and because it's familiar. You know, much more people in this area will know Southern Illinois than East Coast, but I think just in trying to come in and get things going, it's about relationships with the different high school coaches. So then, really last year's people still calling us saying, I know you've moved school, but hey, we want to go where you are. And so that just happened to be the area. Right now, a lot of what I'm doing is getting out and trying to put new name and new face with the university and build those connections here regionally. I think within the 4-hour range around SIU is where we want to target.
You guys had some cross-country members this year that dealt with some injury bugs throughout the year, but as the year got, you know, a little bit going on, they got stronger and stronger up until the finish there. Now that they're transitioning over to track and field season, how encouraging is that to see them not only get stronger and better, but to kind of see where they are now and, you know, what that expectation is for that group?
Our women were really young, and so it was nice for them. I think they're excited. Our distance actually won't compete at this meet. Most of them are on their break. They've gone since August. We give them, you know, about a month of downtime, and so I think that a lot of them are excited to not have to compete this weekend, but at the same time that they've made it this far. So now there's kind of a team excitement about, you know, everybody being able to compete, and so I can see where they're just excited to kind of get to something familiar. Some of them obviously ran cross country, but especially the men, it's a little longer, and the season's a little longer. So, but getting into track season, it's a bigger group, it's a bigger team, and so I think they're excited to kind of integrate into the larger team role. Appreciate you all. Thank you so
Thanks,
much.
guys.
I appreciate the time.
Can I just get him in focus, because he just popped in, so I have to make sure he doesn't. I'm good. Thank you.
Now we'll start.
Alright. Yeah, I want to first start by saying thanks to all the SIU fans and supporters that came out on Sunday to St. Louis. You know, it was great to see all the maroon in the building, and I know it meant a lot to our guys, and I think, you know, to hear the fans cheer and to get that type of applause on a road game, you know, I definitely think it, you know, helped our team perform on Sunday, and obviously we didn't get the result we wanted. But, you know, St. Louis is a special area for us. Obviously, it's where Arch Madness is held, and we hope to have another big turnout there in a couple months. You know, moving on to Norfolk State, it's going to be another tough matchup. They're a great program. Coach Jones has done a great job there. I think they've been in the postseason 7 out of the last 8 years. Went to the NIT, won at Alabama last year, and they've been extremely competitive in every single game this year. So, you know, we got to continue to get better. Yesterday we had another good practice. Today will be a big practice for us, and you know, I just believe the more experience our guys get, the better we're going to be, and we're going to continue to improve throughout this year. And you know, what I love about this team, what I love about coaching these guys, is their focus every single day, and they have not let up in terms of their work ethic. And you know, we had guys in the gym again shooting this morning. We had guys last night in the gym shooting, and you know, if we continue to focus on improving every day, the results will come.
On offense, it seemed like the guys were making nice cuts at basket, and the layups at the mosque had a bunch of them. That was just, the guys were feeding them. And do you like the way that they're buying in the concepts, making the runs, making the cuts, moving on offense?
Yeah, you know, at times I thought we played well offensively on Sunday. You know, at times the ball stuck a little bit too much. We were a little bit too stagnant. We had some shot clock violations. And we got to continue to improve on that. You know, I think when the ball moves and we change sides and it's 1 to 2 dribbles and everyone's touching it, I think that's when we're at our best offensively. And we got to continue, you know, to improve on that every single day with our guys.
Did you feel like Barrett made himself available to at least touch the ball in a lot of possessions, or did you look at your guards and you got to find a way to get him the ball, at least let him touch it?
I think it's on both. You know, our guards got to look for him, and then Barrett's got to want the ball every possession. He can't take possessions off offensively because he's having, you know, a great year so far in terms of scoring the ball and being efficient when he does get the ball. And I think, you know, he did a good job on Sunday in terms of running the floor. I think he got 3 runouts for baskets, and you know, that was impressive. And I'm challenging him, you know, to do that every single time. He might not get a layup every single time, but it puts extra pressure on the defense if he's sprinting the floor every single trip.
How can you take advantage of his, he's an athletic 6'10", in the half court. He's a pretty good screener, but how else do you try to use his athleticism in the half court?
Yeah, I think, you know, like you said, speed in the screen, and then if he sets good screens, that'll allow himself to get open. And then also, you know, being able to get him the ball in some space where maybe he can get by someone on a quick first step and, you know, have a little bit more room, you know, to operate when he does have the ball.
Is Norfolk tough to scout, Brian? I know they played Bradley, but they've also played a couple Division IIs and had some huge wins and
Yeah.
some really close games.
Well, they're tough to scout because they run a lot of different actions. They're very well coached, and then they do a lot of different things defensively too. They press, they do zone, they run and jump, they trap the post, they trap ball screens. So, I mean, they do a lot of different things. So they're going to throw a lot of things at you, and I think that's why they've been so competitive against Ole Miss, Northwestern, Bradley.
You feel like Bishop's the one that kind of makes him go?
Yeah, he's a very good player. He's a St. Louis transfer. He's averaging almost 16 a game, shooting over 40% from 3. You know, he's a very good player, and, you know, we got to be ready to go on him.
Marcus obviously getting the Newcomer of the Week award. Has his increased production been because Aaron's been out?
Yeah, I don't think it's because Aaron's been out. I think, you know, I challenged him a little bit on Sunday to play consistent. You know, I thought he had a really good game against North Carolina Central, and I wanted him to put back-to-back consistent games together. And obviously he did that. And, you know, I think he takes what the defense gives him. He doesn't force too many shots. I think I said it after the game Sunday. You know, he can pass, shoot, and dribble. He's a basketball player. He's got a good feel for the game, and, you know, he's an extremely hard worker. So, He's going to have opportunities every game, I think, to be successful. And sometimes he might miss some shots, and other games he's going to shoot the ball well.
The word that people use to describe him a lot is maturity. Maturity is what people bring up a lot. Is that something that is helping him lead the team in Aaron's absence without maybe he was kind of the defiant leader of the group, and now maybe looking for someone to step up in that role?
Yeah, I think his maturity allows him to have success right now as a freshman on the court because he doesn't, feel overwhelmed ever on the court. He knows he belongs here. He knows he can play with whoever's on the court. I think the leadership, it's going to be by committee. I can't say, Marcus, you got to be the leader of the team now or anything like that. I think Eric, Ronnie, Barrett, those older guys are still our leaders, and everyone else has got to be consistent with their effort and their mindset every single day. And that's what Trent, Harwin, Carrington, Lance, those guys, they can't be up and down. They got to be mature, like you said about Marcus.
Conference play is right around the corner. Do you see the guys growing towards where you want to see them when conference play starts?
Yeah, I mean, we're a much better team than we were November 5th, and we're going to be a much better team on January 5th than we are right now. So I think, all of our young guys have made big steps. I think, Eric's going to continue to get better, I think, as the season goes along. I don't think he's had the start he wanted to individually, but, he's playing hard. Same thing with Ronnie. Ronnie's only played 4 games, I think, for us, and, he's going to get better and better as well. And, Barrett's had a good start for us, so I think the more experience these young guys get, along with the seniors, everyone gelling together, the better the team will be. And then when AC gets back, we're going to be a deeper team come Valley play.
Has Harlan come along, Ryan? Do you feel like he's a confident player, or do you feel like he just needs a game where he has a good start?
Yeah, I mean, he's helped us a lot in different games, and my challenge to Harwin is always to impact the game in other ways than just shooting. He can be a very good defender for us. He can be a very good rebounder for us, and he's got to have that mindset every single game, and he's capable of doing it. That's why, we recruited him. That's why I loved him out of junior college, because he competed on every possession. And, I think, if he can do that consistently, he's going to help us even more than he is right now.
When Benson went out, any reason Dembele didn't play?
I think it was just Gooch had some rhythm in the first half. I thought Gooch did a good job for us in the first half. And then with their defense, stretching the floor with Gooch, I thought it'd give us a little bit better spacing on the offensive side of the floor.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate you.